Rescuing Mrs. Birdley back to school where she belongs. Miranda Montgomery was an animal expert. She watched the Nature Joe Animal Show every single day. Nature Joe was wildly fantastic. He rescued animals of every size, from lemurs to lions. Look, there's a butterfly and a sea turtle. There she is, watching Nature Joe. Sometimes the animals got quite aggressive, but they were always happy once Nature Joe returned them to their natural habitat. So, when Miranda saw her teacher at the grocery store, she knew just what to do. Mrs. Birdley didn't belong in a grocery store. She must have gotten loose from her classroom and wandered off. Mrs. Birdley wasn't getting aggressive yet, but Miranda was sure she would be much happier back in her natural habitat. Luckily, Miranda Montgomery had been preparing for this moment her entire life. Miranda had once seen Nature Joe dig a hole and line it with cozy pillows to rescue a sick Bengal tiger. Oh, look, she's digging a hole. But Mrs. Birdley was sly. She avoided the hole completely. Let's see, she stepped right over it. Unfortunately, the deli man, see him? He's bringing her purse to her. The deli man was not as sly. Uh-oh. Miranda needed bait, and she knew the perfect bait to use: blueberry yogurt. It was all Mrs. Birdley ever ate back in her natural habitat. See, look, there's the blueberry yogurt. Miranda knew lost creatures were sometimes skittish at first, but Mrs. Birdley couldn't resist the scent of fruity, low-calorie goodness. Miranda sprung her trap, but Mrs. Birdley could move faster than Miranda expected. Look, the deli man's catching up to her with her purse. And Miranda threw a net down to catch her, and she didn't get there. She didn't get her. On Nature Joe's Small Rodents special, he found a little lost weasel searching for food. He caught the weasel in a cage, took it to a meadow, and set it free. The weasel scampered happily away. So Miranda knew firsthand that the key to catching a quick animal was slow and steady movements. While Mrs. Birdley was distracted by the alfalfa sprouts, Miranda made her move. See, look, she's got a big garbage can. What's going to happen? Miranda's teacher squealed the whole way back to school, just like that little lost weasel. Miranda knew Mrs. Birdley would be much happier back where she belonged. She didn't look happy right now, but she was probably just shaken up from her little adventure. See, there she is looking through the window. And Miranda's got the key. Being locked safe and sound in her classroom all weekend would settle her right down. Miranda Montgomery went home feeling wildly fantastic, just like Nature Joe. Until Sunday. That's when she saw her principal, Mr. Kanklestout, in the home improvement store. There he was, just shuffling down the lawnmower aisle. Mr. Kanklestout wasn't getting aggressive yet. Luckily, Miranda Montgomery had been preparing for this moment her entire life. Can you tell what she's going to do? Yeah.